like instead of being sanded by sandpaper, it's like you've been buffed by soft feathers for a really long time. And after a while, you're like, oh, with the soft feathers already.
Yeah, there are some times where everything goes fast and you do this and you do that, and when you sit down, I suddenly realize, hey, you're in Central Park, New York. How cool! How good is that? Lying here with the sun. No, in the shadow because the sun is so hot.
So the high moments you have when you're alone in your house.
There's a curious belief like you've made it. You know, it's people really believe in this sort of like movie magic kind of like, now you've made it, and from now on I'll live in a big house, and you know, and there'll be
or like you've run away to join the circus
servants
or something.
And you know, like what, you know, like suddenly somehow like you know, something like this happens to you and they think you're Sammy Hagar, or like, you know, like everything has changed now. And I kept saying to my boss, like, yeah, well, I'll see you in January. And he was like, oh, you're not going to see me in January. You've made it.
Or they think we'll be in jail by then or something. I mean, there's that sense, too, that this is some kind of extreme rock and roll decadent thing. I don't think they realized that we were entering this world of, like, bottled water and reflexology and yoga and stuff, you know, that it was going to be so nurturing and comfortable.
I could get everything ready. How long do we have?
First time we had a concert, we were really scared and very nervous. But the time goes and it's like normal for us now. But it's really nice when the audience are screaming and you know all that, and we. You know, it's very, how do you call it?
It's like when someone tells you, I love you.
Yeah.
It is an emotionally extreme thing that she does, and it's no surprise that people get invested in that very heavily, sometimes to the point of a little bit freakish. And yeah.
That was strange for me to have friends, like my friends, that are really super sarcastic, really kind of embittered, whatever, you know, kind of people that I get tickets to the shows, you know, and they come to the after show and I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'll introduce you. You know, and then they just get like, blah, 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 and they lose it, you know, I really loved your movie, and I have all your albums, and I'm like, where did this come from? You know, like, I would not have expected this at all. So I think that's what I found most surprising about the fans, is that they're all around us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, the most vivid surprise to me as just a player playing with the band was when we did our very first show at Riverside Church. And I don't think you were there yet. But we got, you know, it was supposed to be a secret show at first, and there were about 150 people in the audience, and we walk on this little, it was barely a stage, and we get on, and as soon as Björk comes on, the audience is like, everyone like leaps up together and starts clapping and cheering, and it was, I mean, I just like started having tears in my eyes. I just never experienced anything like that before as a performer, you know, someone playing with someone that has that gets that kind of reaction from an audience, and it was so moving. I was almost unable to do what I'm supposed to do, which is play the harp. I was pretty surprised and very moved, and like started crying in my eyes. And then I was like, okay, Zena, you have to get it together. Come on, pull it together. Come on, the first song. It was pretty funny, but it was. And there are these moments of just receiving this incredible love from the audience, I guess. So.
I guess when you've been, your private things have been public for so long, I had a craving to tidy it all up, maybe before this album. And I think with people like me who end up in this kind of job, people who make music, and I'm sure it's in other professions too, but the reason why you go into it first is because you want to give. It really is that naive. You are 6-year-old and you walk into school and you have this daydream that you would like to go stand up on a table and make everybody happy with a song. I mean, it's completely sick and perverse, of course, but that's what drives you, is you want to give something of you. And I guess with people who have similar job as I have, it gets misunderstood, and kind of thinking maybe the media and maybe you go lazy because you've been doing it for so long that you say, okay, I've given this arm, okay, and then I give this arm. And so you kind of get confused and start giving things that maybe nobody wants, or the media will ask for things that is nobody's business. And then you stop giving what you wanted to give in the first place. But there is still, if like before this album, and I wanted to tidy it all up again and say, okay, let's look at it this very clearly, that there is still a part of me that has hope and wants to give and communicate something that is quite private, but it has nothing to do with my everyday life still. It is still this bubble, this kind of fantasy fairy tale bubble, and I feel with this album I managed to tidy it up and it became quite pure again.